In the wake of Donald Trump's historic win, the left is still reeling and trying to figure out what the heck went wrong. I mean, after all, we had the right candidate in terms of race and gender. We had all the media in the pocket. We had all the big stars and celebrities. So why didn't she win? And of course, this is a question where a few people are finally starting to wake up to the answer, but they don't like it. And other people just flat out disagree, like Jon Stewart. But before we get to the clips, please like and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
But it's a delight to hear about why it happened from so many people who were so wrong about what was going to happen. And everyone has their own pet theory. But there's one theory that a lot of people seem to be coalescing around.
They were too woke, insisting that people use the term Latinx.
Too far to the left on transgender rights.
You have to say they. No, you have to do this.
Stop with the virtue signaling.
Step away from woke.
Focus less on who is woke and more on who is broke.
Social justice issues take a back seat when your son is in the basement vaping and playing video games and can't find a job.
I feel like that last guy was really venting more about his son. Everybody else had sort of a broader point, but his was just so specific. But point taken. Everyone's talking about this wokeness theory, from cable news to the op-ed section. I only have one problem with the woke theory. I just didn't recall seeing any Democrats running on woke shit. These were the commercials I saw for the Democrats.
Sherrod Brown is working to fix our border crisis.
Mondaire Jones is working to secure our border.
Pat Ryan is restoring order at our southern border.
I'm Laura Gillen, and I'm here at the border of Nassau County. We're 2,000 miles from Mexico, but we're feeling the migrant crisis almost every day.
In Nassau County, by the way, Suffolk County, make my day. You want a piece of our strip malls? You're going to have to go through Laura Gillen. Those are the Democrats. The Democrats. I gave the police more money than they even wanted. I gave them planes and tanks. I built a moat around the country and filled it with alligators and chlamydia. They didn't talk about pronouns. They didn't say Latinx. It was the opposite.
We can't let China steal Wisconsin jobs.
Benefits for illegal immigrants? No way. Blocking support for white farmers? I mean, look at me.
Standing with law enforcement against defunding the police.
I've owned a gun my whole life.
Let me be clear. I don't want boys playing girls' sports.
You all know me. I've never pushed for sex changes.
Well, that's just a weird one at the end there. They didn't do the woke thing. They tried. They acted like Republicans for the last 4 months. They wore camo hats and went to Cheney family reunions. Democrats were mostly running against an identity that was defined for them based on a couple of months of post-George Floyd defund the police, Me Too Instagram posts from 4 years ago. What happened was the country felt like government wasn't working for them. And the Democrats in particular were taking their hard-earned money and giving it to people who didn't deserve it as much as them. And so the Democrats got shellacked. I'm sure any robust examination of better policies is very welcome. But I just want to please assure people, this isn't forever.
So Jon Stewart's assertion that this election didn't involve wokeness is completely laughable. The Democrats had to run away from it because for the last 8 years, not just the last few months, the last 8 years, the left has been pushing all this crazy gender ideology, all this crazy DEI initiatives, all this institutional racism garbage on the American people. And guess what? We don't want it. And this is a clear rejection of that. But like I said, 8 years this has been going on. And Jon Stewart says, oh, none of them ran on it because it's so unpopular. The tide had finally turned and they all saw that, holy crap, all this stuff we've been advocating for so long is now backfiring in our faces. That's why you didn't see anybody on TV coming out saying, hey, I'm the most progressive candidate ever. Please vote for me. No, they were running from it like the left always does. As I've been saying on this channel, the Democrats always go far to the left to get all of their nominations, but then try to come back to the center to fool the American people into thinking they're actually reasonable, normal, common sense, everyday Americans, all right? But this time we didn't fall for it because it was so blatant in every avenue out there we could possibly see. In the news media, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, they were not hiding it, and everyone finally saw them pull away the mask and say, holy crap, these are the last people we want anywhere near the levers of government. And we came out in a resounding popular and electoral college win for Donald Trump. Some might even call it a mandate. But of course, the content of that mandate is still not understood by the ladies over at The View.
Now, the former head of ICE, Tom Homan, has just been picked as border czar for the upcoming administration, and he recently went on 60 Minutes to justify the price that migrants and Americans will pay for his plan. Take a look.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
I don't care what anybody's opinion is on illegal immigration. When you create a crisis this big, all these other bad things happen. That's why we have to secure the border. I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, or independent. Border security is national security.
So perhaps that means that they will go back to the plan that was that both the Republicans and the Democrats were going to do at the border and was stopped by you-know-who. So maybe that's in his mind, that there is something to do there.
You realize, I mean, it's chilling what he just said. You realize that when he says, yes, families can be deported together, what he is saying is that U.S. citizens can be deported. What he is saying is, if the parent is undocumented and they have U.S. citizen children or U.S. citizen spouse, or and you don't want to separate them, then let's deport the U.S. citizens. Look, Donald Trump won the electoral vote. He won. He's going to win the House. He won the Senate. For all effects and purposes, he's got the Supreme Court. They've given him immunity. This is what the country voted for. This is, a lot of people thought that when he talked about mass deportations, he wasn't being serious. I don't know how many times he had to say it for people to realize he was being serious. Well, if you thought he wasn't being serious, the appointment of Tom Homan today as border czar, and he will be in charge of a mass deportation program, the largest the country has ever seen, they say. And now Stephen Miller, as Deputy Chief of Staff, should let you know that he was absolutely serious. And when you talk about mass deportations, people think, oh, it's just going to be the criminals. There's not enough criminals, aliens in the federal prison system for it to be mass deportations. What it means is grandmothers. What it means is brothers and aunts. What it means is abuelos y abuelas. It means dreamers. It means your family members. It means your colleagues. It means your friends. It means people who are part of the society. And look, America, those of you who voted for Trump, this is what you wanted. This is what you voted for. You screwed around and you're about to find out.
Yeah, I mean, I echo all of that, right? I mean, we get the government that we vote for as a country, and the majority of the country apparently voted for this. And, I think it's really loud and clear that what he said, he meant.
All right, so Ana Navarro's argument apparently is that people who voted for Donald Trump didn't think he was serious about mass deportation. That was a winning issue, right? Over 70% agree with mass deportation. But never mind them. Never mind the people who are trying to come here and just kind of leech off the system, or even the people trying to maybe get a better life, all right? What about all of the murderers? What about all of the rapists, right? What about all of the criminals who've come across the border? What about all of the terrorists we have intercepted at the border, right? The floodgates floodgates have been opened. And by the way, I find it laughable that Whoopi Goldberg even mentions that horrible border deal that was put into the Senate. Because, by the way, we've mentioned this so many times, and hopefully this is the last time, 2 million people per year allowed into this country. 2 million, right? We cannot handle that. It is not sustainable, okay? We already have 20 plus million in this country illegally just over the last 4 years, okay? So when we say mass deportation, we're not talking just about the criminals in our jail system or the terrorists coming into our country. We're talking about people who are leeching off of our system and taking away resources from Americans. And that is why this is so popular, particularly among the minority voters that Donald Trump just won over in massive numbers, by the way. And I hope the left never learns any of these lessons, because I want to just keep on winning. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.